Diego.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this special ABB Formula E FIA World Championship press conference to celebrate the announcement that Cape Town will be joining the calendar in Season 8. It's a fantastic announcement. We have with us for our special panel this afternoon, joining us hopefully virtually, we have Ian Banner, the chairperson for E-Movement. On our left this afternoon, we have David Ciclitera, co-founding partner of E-Movement. In the middle, Alberto Longo, the Chief Championship Officer and co-founder here at Formula E. And on our right, Gary Eckerol, the sporting manager at Jaguar Racing. And I think for context, Jaguar South Africa was a big player in this bid. So it's great to have you three with us this afternoon. But before we hear from you, we've got a quick promotional video that I believe we're going to see on the screens now.
With the 16-race 2021-22 calendar recently announced, the Formula E World Championship can look forward to electrifying the streets of the world's most iconic cities once more. Some of the E-Prix will be familiar favourites.
And we go green in New York City.
But some will see us break new ground, like Cape Town in South Africa.
The city of Cape Town, from his past history, we host many global events very successfully. This one will not be any different.
It's a big project. This is a World Championship event in motor racing, and our track layout is probably going to be one of the fastest circuits on the Formula E calendar. So we're going to see some very tight racing.
I grew up in South Africa. The backdrop of Cape Town is one of the most iconic in the world. You know, where the race is going to be with Table Mountain, Robben Island. South Africans are huge motorsport fans. Cape Town is a city which cares a lot about sustainability, and I think it's going to be a phenomenal addition to Formula E.
Looks amazing, you know, race around a World Cup stadium, that's already a big thing for us, and you know, I love Formula E because of that. You know, we innovate not only in the cars, in the technology, but also where and how we race, so I'm sure we're going to pull out an amazing event.
Cape Town can compete with the best in the world, and we want the best in the world of tournaments to come to Cape Town, and that is why we put in such a lot of energy into this to make it a major success.
Fantastic. I hope watching that we're all suitably relishing the race, which is on the 26th of February. We're going to start hopefully with a question to Ian. I don't know if you can hear us joining virtually. It's all good. Right. Ian, confirming the Cape Town E-Prix is a realisation of years of work. There you are up on the TV screen by years of work by you and your team. Just tell us a bit more about that process of how you have this idea and turn it into a fully fledged bid and then get it over the line in time for Season 8.
Yes, well, thank you very much for the introduction, and wonderful that Cape Town is on the calendar. About 2 years ago, I made a trip to London to visit with Alberto, who's here with us today, to share a dream. And at that time, I said to him, we may not be the wealthiest city in the world, but we're a determined city that's done a lot of international events, and we'd love to have Formula E on our shores, and we'd make sure that if it came, we would present a very high caliber race. And of course, it's a team effort. There's a significant number of people that have made this a reality. David's on the panel today. He's one of our supportive partners, director of the company, Bruce Forsyth, and the whole team have been responsible for getting us to where we are now. But now the work just begins, and we're looking forward to that.
Fantastic. And what can fans expect? What can we all expect from the event aside from the race itself?
Well, of course, the race is what I call the celebration, but we've come up with something called the E-Fest, and the E-Fest is a 5-day program around sustainability and e-mobility. So we have a 2-day conference of e-mobility where we'll have all things E, from OEMs to one-wheelers to bicycles, possibly a plane and a boat, to showcase to the public what E is all about, both now and going into the future. That will be dynamic and exciting. We've got a golf tournament, which Ernie Els is hosting for us, where the drivers and the team principals and people in the ecosystem and our sponsors will play on the lovely Metropolitan Golf Course. We are planning an E-Ride. People should experience E-vehicles. And then very importantly, we have got a climate change summit where we'll be talking about all things sustainable. And a big initiative in taking this to Cape Town is not only, of course, to race, but to grow the economy and to promote e-business as well.
Thank you very much for joining us, Ian. And that handily leads straight into my question for David. So, Formula E obviously comes to Cape Town in South Africa. So, what can that do for tourism? What can it do for local business? With obviously the added caveat that this is now a post-COVID world.
Well, I think the most important thing. This one here. Can you hear me now?
Absolutely.
I think the most important thing really for us as a partnership is that I think looking in London today, you can see how we've progressed in the UK with the electric vehicle revolution. I think the same is going to be the case in Cape Town. We're very proud today to be able to announce a relationship between the South African Tourist Board and Formula E. I think it's true to say that that's unique. It's a 5-year relationship, and South Africa's obviously had its own problems, as the world has seen, but is very, very keen to be back on the international platform.
Thank you, David. And Alberto, over to you. Nice, short, simple question, but what makes South Africa an important market to Formula E?
Well, not simple at all. It's super complicated. I think South Africa basically tick the box of every single thing that we need in order to host a race of Formula E. To start with, I'm sure you're aware we race in the heart of the biggest cities in the world. We want to go to iconic venues that you can really identify very quickly in one shot on TV. And I think this is one of the main reasons why we're in South Africa, because they really offer us one of the best and most amazing locations that we're ever gonna do a race at. Having as a backdrop the Table Mountain, which is obviously a landmark of the city, the sea and a stadium. I think we're gonna be able to put a fantastic event up there. But then the passion of South Africa and the heritage of motorsport, they just love motorsport. I think it's a place where every serious and professional motorsport series have to basically do a stage there, you know. And then why not saying we have amazing partners, amazing promoters, and local promoters there that has helped along the way, and the city has expressed big interest on hosting a Formula E event since a long time. So I think all the things that needed to happen in order for us to decide a venue, a city, a country, you know, it did happen in South Africa.
Thanks, Alberto. And then over to you, Gary Eckerall from Jaguar Racing. South African yourself, a member of the team that has obviously had a big input into this bid coming to fruition. So what does it mean to you that you'll have, I suppose, ironically on the day of the London E-Prix, another effective home race?
Yeah, well, first of all, on behalf of Jaguar Racing and the 5 South Africans involved directly in our team, I'd like to say congratulations to Formula E, the promoter, and obviously Jaguar Land Rover South Africa as a founding partner of that promotion. Congratulations, and it's fantastic that we're going to Cape Town. You know, on a global stage, cities all around the world are vying for, you know, that market share of global tourism, and the fact that, you know, we've been to cities like, as Alberto just pointed out, you know, we've been to New York with the Statue of Liberty in the background, and, you know, obviously you've been to Paris with the Eiffel Tower in the background. Well, now we go to Cape Town with Table Mountain in the background. So to coin a motorsport phrase, I think Cape Town's put itself in pole position to get a share of that global tourism market, and hopefully that'll have all sorts of implications, positive implications for its economy. You know, as a South African with a bit of South African motorsport history, it's been a long time since South Africa has had a World Championship FIA event since 1993 Formula One. So to go back there and go to Cape Town and be able to show Cape Town all about e-mobility and electric racing is just absolutely fantastic.
Thanks, Gary. We also have a question here from the Virtual Media Centre from Fritz Cluster. I think that's the correct pronunciation. I'm going to aim this one at you, Alberto. It says, thank you for having Cape Town on your calendar. It means a lot to motorsport and e-business in our country. As David has said, this is a multi-year contract, but does that come with Cape Town exclusivity? Or could we be going to Kyle Army or Johannesburg? Or?
I mean, the experience tells me that we don't go to twice to the same country. So it's not that we have an exclusivity, but obviously we have never been in the same country twice, unless there is a situation like the one we have just had, with the COVID, etc. But yeah, we are a global championship. We want to be in as many markets as possible. So yeah, certainly we will just be in Cape Town.
Thank you. And I think we'll open up to any questions here. If you'd like to raise your hand. VDB.
Hi, that's Sam Smith from the race. If I can just ask about the actual track itself, will the cars race in the Greenpoint Stadium, or will it be in and around? Is that defined yet?
Do you want to answer that, Ian?
Take that question. So the answer is we wanted to design a track through the stadium, but in order to achieve that, you need a minimum of 7-meter width into the stadium, and unfortunately, the current is 5.3 meters. So we're not able to do that. We'll look at it in the future, but it's a big structural issue. But we will be racing around the stadium and between Table Mountain and Robben Island, and certainly not in the ocean. We will be revealing the track very soon. It'll be a separate reveal, but it's an exciting ocean bracing racing track, open wheels on, obviously on a street circuit. So we're very excited about it, and we'll be commencing with the civils work very soon to get the track fully prepared beyond its current state.
Thank you, Ian. Another question?
Hi, Andrew Vandenberg, the race. Question for Gary. Excuse my ignorance on this. We know in the UK, the manufacturers have to sell EVs by 2030, same in the EU. What are the current rules regarding that in South Africa, and which of the brands currently involved in formally selling electric cars there?
Well, to be 100% honest, I've been out of South Africa a long time, so I don't think I'm best placed to give you that, especially that I'm involved in Jaguar Racing as a racing outfit rather than the road car plan. I'm sure there are some people who are more able to give you a legal perspective on the South African regulations than I am.
Ian?
I can confirm, and I think I'm on reasonably firm ground, it is not regulated at this point in time, but we're seeing some very, very good moves in that direction, and I think it'll happen in time.
Thank you. Any more questions here in the room? No, I think we'll wrap it up there. Thank you again to our panel and Ian for joining us virtually, and we look forward to racing in Cape Town next season. Thank you, gents.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you.